Alright, I don't think this is gonna top the math looks in any way, but, I can try. Forest fires. The forest was on fire, again. Flicker's eyes darted in 5 different directions, watching as the flames consumed the nearby trees. 2 woodland animals, rolling their eyes and groaning, plodded towards their usual hideout. "What is happening?" Flicker shouted in an electric voice. She tried to look up and down at the same time, with moderate success. Gleam rested a reassuring hand, as best they could, on Flicker's non-corporeal shoulder. Their crystalline hair, usually a brilliant white contrast to their coal-black skin, had faded to a sad silver shimmer. "Smolder's having a tantrum again," said Gleam. "Take a deep breath." Flicker inhaled through her nose and exhaled through her mouth. She looked calmer now, though she was still trembling and fidgeting with her short golden locks. "Again?" she asked. "What is it about this time?" "Boyfriend again," said Gleam. They let out a long sigh, full of worry and hurt. "Probably." "Does he have to start a forest fire every time the two of them have a fight?" asked Flicker. "It makes me nervous." "Please, try to understand," implored Gleam. "Smolder can't help it. He just has a short fuse and happens to live in an especially flammable forest. I've been trying to understand for the past few eternities, and a lot of good that's done. Smolder always burns the forest down, and then we need a new one. The rest of the Fae moved out. The only reason Deer and Squirrel are still here is because they can't afford better lodgings." Flicker was shaking more vigorously. She bit her lip, which had started to flit in and out of existence. There, cooed Gleam. They tried to offer their hand to Flicker, but Flicker was starting to do what she did best again. They thought very hard for a very long time before speaking again. "You're right," said Gleam. "And I have a plan that will put a stop to this once and for all." Flicker stopped. She looked straight at Gleam with her gold-hued eyes. "Really?" Gleam took in their deepest breath yet and exhaled their longest sigh. "I think it's time for an intervention." Smolder punched his pillow again, which now consisted of a pile of ashes. The canopy of trees that served as his house was in the same state as his pillow, as was the rest of the forest. "Hi, Smolder," said Flicker, stepping into the former house. Gleam, who was standing behind Flicker, gave Smolder a friendly wave. "Flicker?" "Gleam," Smolder grunted, nodding his head of fiery red hair in acknowledgement as he spoke each name. "You here to collect the regular tax for a new forest?" "No." Flicker's incontinent eyes glared at Smolder. "We aren't." "This is an intervention," Gleam calmly explained. "An intervention?" Smolder scoffed as hard as he could, which was very hard. "What the hell for?" Flicker gestured at the expansive X-forest surrounding the trio and glared at Smolder with even greater intensity. Smolder tried to scoff even harder, but this resulted in a terrible coughing fit instead. Once he regained his composure, he stood up and folded his arms. "Really? This has been going on for 5 eternities, and now you're going to try and hold an intervention?" "We aren't just trying," Gleam whispered, as if it were the most precious secret ever told. "We're having one." Now it was Smolder's turn to glare. His ember eyes were very good at glaring. "Maybe I'm not the one that needs an intervention." "What?" exclaimed Flicker, a shock running through her body. She disappeared for a split second. When she reappeared, she was shaking again. Gleam clutched the spot where the flowing white gown covered their heart as if they'd been hit with an arrow. "That really hurts, Smolder." Smolder's ember eyes burned even brighter. "Don't try and deny it," he barked. "I'm not the only one who's trashed a forest before. Flicker, do you remember the day you forgot your planner?" Don't look at me," stammered Flicker. It was hard to look at when she wasn't always there. "I can barely remember what I ate for breakfast this morning." "Or you, Gleam," Smolder continued. He turned his gaze to meet Gleam's eyes, which were the color of spider webs. "Remember the first night you spent with your girlfriend?" A serene smile appeared on Gleam's lips. "Every single detail," he said wistfully. "There we have it then," Smolder struck a triumphant pose. "We've all done this before. We all need an intervention." "But you won't deny that it was you this time?" inquired Gleam. There was nothing accusatory in her voice. Smolder looked away from the other two sheepishly. Well, yeah. Boyfriend trouble again? Gleam raised a knowing eyebrow. Smolder looked at his feet. Yes, he grumbled. You didn't kill this one, did you? Asked Flicker in a nervous tone. No, Smolder muttered, not looking up. Nothing like that. It's just that he's immortal, it's all. Time moves differently for him, and he wasn't keen on moving here. It just wasn't going to work out. Can't say I blamed him, but I was pissed off. There, Gleam sang. Was that so bad? It was awful, Smolder spat. But I'll pay the money for the new forest as usual. We need a plan, exclaimed Flicker, starting to panic. What if this happens again? We just need to keep ourselves in check, said Gleam. If we do that, we won't get this far in the first place. And we need to let one another know if we're having an intense day so we can prepare. Fair enough, said Smolder, nodding. Now that that's sorted, grinned Gleam, who wants lunch? The three sat in their new forest, eating the food Gleam had prepared and drinking the nectar of the flowers. The three had never been happier. Gleam, ecstatic to be in the company of friends, calmly and gracefully burst into flames. Oops, said Gleam. The forest was on fire again.